Greetings everyone, Angrade here for another Age Mythology Replay. Spawn on the right side as the blue Freyr, we got Divine. Spawn on the left side as the red Tsukuyomi, got Aces.TheCountVonCount. I wonder how often he'll count. Guess we'll find out. When of course comes the major and minor gods, Freyr is a focus on technology defense, has potent defensive god power, Berlin Busetti gets more power per age, technology is costless but takes far longer to research, which is a very good trade-off. I would take that trade-off any day. Hills and hill forts do increase damage, and hill fort units do increase 10% damage, very important also for the ballista of all things. Repairing is free, which is always very nice to have. Dwarves and gatherers can repair as well. Can go for Freyr or Uller. Forest Fires, of course, is okay god power, nothing too crazy. It's definitely better than Gold Edition. Valkyrie's a mounted healer, always nice to have. More cavalry speed and hit points is always nice to have. And more Goaty hit points, so it's definitely better for your Great Hall. But Uller, of course, provides you the Hell Age 2 Hill Fort, which is always nice to have. The Draugr is okay, it definitely relies on his upgrade a bit more to make it useful, but it's nothing to really write home about. Range and divine damage. This increases your longhouse unit's speed, and of course give them burst speed if they've been standing still. Makes it as guarding bashes cheaper, and early batting rams along with the early huskarls. Overall, Oller's generally the more common pick, but Freyr does honestly offers a bit more support here. Well, this is the core aspect for Uller, is the free fortifications, hill forts. There's argument for both, to say the least, I would say. For Tsukuyomi, focus on technology as well, Shinobi and Cavalry. They get increased damage per Bushido tier, Shinobi and Cavalry. Age technology also grants Bushido tier. You get faster age up and a free Kitsune each age. And his unique upgrade improves his defenses. When it comes to his minor gods, you got Nari Okami or Ame no Uzume. Nari Okami is more the default option. Get a lot of fluffy tails from it, that's for sure. Ame no Uzume is a pretty good one as well. This is very good god power. Swamplands, excellent god power. Insta-kill a large number of human soldiers. Jorogumo, I haven't really seen her deploy all too often. She's okay, not great. Just a decent frontline myth unit. Wisdom 9 gives Kitsune more line of sight, making them better at their scouting job. +1 stack them, make them faster, it makes everything faster, and of course 75% hit points, makes them a bit more of a standard military unit. Additionally, you get the player the 40% damage dealt in form of gold for your myth units, very nice to have, and cavalry gets increased hit points and bonus extra cavalry. Tsukuyomi is focused on cavalry, so that's one reason why Inari Okami is usually by default for him. Though this will resummon your myth units for free, takes a long time, so she is automatically and instantly a great god to have with this god power. Whirlwind Weasels, they're okay, not great in my opinion. Infantry gets to increase hit points, good for the Shinobi aspect, and of course you get better Mikos, which is good for deploying out more myth units to be resummoned for free for more myth units. Both of those gods are good, but Inari Okami by default is generally the pick for Tsukuyomi, but there's an argument for both. Against Freyr, who's more focused on hill fort stuff. Cavalry, of course, give more speed to deal with the ballista, while of course the Huskarls is anti-range, which technically could be countered by... I'd say there's not really a clear option to counter Freyr. Freyr doesn't have really counter to Tsukuyomi in either direction. You do, of course, got a pair of free kitty cats from that relic. Differing Ingir and Sword, heroes get hit points and fighting immunities. Your heroes get 10% lifesteal, very useful both sides. Ship of Fingernails, how delicious, you get a food triple. Apparently it's actually like Egyptian mythology there. I forget why it's called a fingernails. I don't think it's actually made of fingernails, I have no idea. And heavily jeweled spear. Yari Spearman, let's see, counter cavalry units get increased damage, so Erdman and Yari Spearman. I'm trying to remember, the Ship of Fingernails, the last game I played that actually sort of described what it was Shin Megami Tensei 4? But I forget. You do have now Uller selected, which is quite understandable. Free Asgard Bastions makes your defense far more effective. And plus it's just unique. Joggers are nice in mass numbers, but they're not fantastic. They definitely require an upgrade. Oh, didn't realize Kami also queued on up. Jorogumo should be on focused defense. You can harass with the Kitsune. Oh, looks like I got already another Kitsune over here, so this looks like 3 Kitsune in the field. Though, in this case, Joggers with their special attack with is spread attack will make it a bit more effective to fight against the Kitsune. You can always fall back to Miko. There's a Herseer here, so avoid the Herseer. When the Kitsune does get bopped, you can use New Moon to get a bunch of free technologies, such as most of these 3 technologies. Not omniscient. I think you get, what, 3 technologies in total from this? Most 3 expensive technologies. Yeah, you can get, not the stable, but you can get these 3 technologies here, which is all pretty nice to have. Get a quick access to the gold generation, and then make immediately upgraded Kitsune to get them more health, so you can get more aggressive with them. And then, of course, get the gold bounty to go along with that. And your Jorogumo, that you probably won't build more than one, will get her buff. Do have a watermill here, ready to grind these berries into a thin red paste. Naginata Rider's here. You need Wisdom 9 to get the double stack limit. He's going for the Ivory Natsuki. Gives you, if I remember correctly, 40% of the damage they deal, all mythics deal, return in form of gold value directly into your bank. In this case, every bite from a Kitsune will give you 7 times 4, 2.8, with the 2... I can't do the math right now. About 3 gold per strike. Guess we'll find out soon enough. Got 144. No Wisdom 9 just yet, so the Kitsune is still a little bit fragile. 159, no attacks there. Wisdom 9 now being researched. I'm waiting for one of the attacks there just to get the calculations, but Red has not been able to get attack off on any of these. To fall back to Miko to get some healing going. We got some of these gold lines. Are they classified as myth unit? I don't think they're classified as myth unit. Wait. Nope, don't see any upgrades applied, so they don't get affected by the gold collection. They have a relatively slow movement speed compared to everything else here, so pull them off the formation, I would say. Now they're moving at 6.6. Some of the Kitsune are quite wounded. Long house now being built. Over here, the kitty cats are trying to find some human or dwarf. Do dwarves taste like human when you eat them? Apparently, the close approximation to human meat is pork. So does dwarves taste like pork? Attacking buildings does not provide a gold refund, only when attacking units for the Kitsune. Gets a bit of damage there, no raid. Lucy's going for Hachiman, the hero focus of the gods, which also gives you access to daimyos. Oh, here's a fun fact about the daimyo god power. When it comes to campaign, you can also apply it to the daimyo hero, and it will actually upgrade him even further. And he'll get the final tier samurai, the Haruhito samurai. Yep, you can see they got about 4 gold from that strike there. And running around the Rosie is... we'll pull, I think, non-heroes. See these guys here? They're basically like landmines. Asgardian Hill Fort going on up. Could fall back to Miko to get those guys healed on up. Mikos do get trained pretty quickly, if I remember correctly. And he actually has researched medium cavalry rather than trying to go for free. He is a bit far away from it. It does get experience generated. I don't think you get a refund. Tsukuyomi has now aged on up, going for the copper upgrades. Let's see, each one provides... Can't actually see how much experience provides. Doesn't say here. Guess we'll just sort of keep an eye. Go see right click on all the upgrades, so they're being incomplete, as which is a bit of oversight there. That might put him up. Spear upgrades going first. Needs 825. Goes up by 200, or 825 to 625, yeah. I wonder because it's the cost of the upgrade, but these are both 75, 150. Okay, it looks like the experience provided equals the individual resource cost for each upgrade. Good to know. Gets the medium upgrade. Does get Daimyo now employed in the field, or Shogun. Like I said, if you play, you can apply this God Power to the campaign hero, and it will give you maxed out samurai, fully leveled samurai, the beyond champion ones. Got a good number of Erdmen here. Hill Fort, of course, is a early hill fort. Has, I think, full DPS. No bowling oil though. Boots right now collecting up some delicious elephants. I am curious how well elephant tastes in real life. Engu here. Jorogumo there. That voice actor sounds familiar. But it's definitely different voice lines they use in Age of Empires 3. Got some great hauls here. They're quite fine. Got these forces rotated over here. Takes out a villager. Not quick response time. Loses 2 villager. Watchtowers, of course, engaging. This force here is at least distracting his opponent long enough. Shogun maybe will get some good strikes on him. 800 damage the Shogun does. You get a free samurai. Big line of farms there. Right now, village difference quite significant in favor of blue. See on 2 town centers. Red zone on the 1. Villagers migrating towards the delicious elephants. The amount of units on the field, we've got 70 versus 69, 63,000, 6,300 versus 61, 31. Wow. 3,700 versus 3,200. Cannot speak. Got some Yumi archers. Got a new moon upgrade on Los Blacksmith. Get his bronze upgrades immediately going. I don't think you get experience from that from the new moon. But he has his bronze upgrades. He has the heavy upgrade. So these guys are pretty well statted. Over here we do have just copper and medium. Got some Huskarls mixed on in, which are counter range units. So some of the dwarves are being bitten. Good amount of forces up here. 30 units. 103 versus 101. Oh, another Asgardian Bastion. Very nice. Effectively has 1 villager or 1 military unit to auto build. So you can at least stand and fight and still continue building. Just not very quickly. So these forces moving around, find some gatherers. Blue's immediately trying to respond to it. Red may be able to take out this hill fort here. May want to pull back the Yumi archers though. Dwarves trying to escape. And Freyr is upgrading to Ager, give access to the rock giants. What gives you 1/2 bar. Oh, another Shogun. Does he still have the other one live? Yep, so we got 2 Shoguns now live. Another set of swamplands. I still think this Godfire is a little bit too powerful. It grabs way too many units in this age. More Erdmen now being employed in the field, and Huskarls. I think the radius of the pool just needs to be shrunk. That'll probably how I'll balance out that god power. Pile of upgrades here, including the fortified town centers. Got more rock giants. Gives you 1/2 of the term for Ragnar rock and roll. I'm going to keep on saying that pun, even if it kills me. Dwarves here, gotta get on out of there. Could probably try to charge with the ox carts to draw some fire. Won't be cheap though. Ox carts, they're not terribly expensive, but you don't really want to be disposable with them. But they're easy enough to pull on the field. Looks like he's going to have to go for Watasumi. If I butchered that name well enough, because I butchered all names. He actually has queued up the champion upgrade. He really wants the champion upgrade, don't want to wait for the free one. Which is definitely a choice, and can be a good choice if you really want it. We got a castle here. Some old Yumis wouldn't be half bad. Draugr getting knocked out. The main antagonist of Skyrim has gone down. Another Asgardian Bastion being employed in the field. Great haul there. Good work by the Yumi archers, horse archers. He is going for the Granite Giants now. Holding oil, heavy cavalry. What do he has crenellations research? He does. Good. Great taunt there. Got a single Miko here for healing, which is good. Not the fastest healer, but certainly a healer, which is better than nothing at this moment. She's also a heroic civilian, which means not fit for combat, nor for frontline. Dojo and castle here. Times you wish you had a health regen garrison like Age of Empires 2. Because herbal medicine actually would be useful right now. Do have the champion upgrade immediately going, but 6 more experience, you don't actually need it. You guys are queued on up, so now his champion. Wait. No, that was the heavy, wasn't it? Never mind, that was the heavy upgrade that got just now got available. Does go for the Dragon Typhoon, which is clearly inferior to the Shark Typhoon and the Sharknado. So that was actually the upgrade to heavy. So he is actually 1 tier behind. So going to the champion upgrade is actually quite understandable. Tempest means some of these guys is really wounded, so they're most likely to get knocked out. Good number of them. Tsukuyomi has a decent amount of favor, almost enough for another new moon, which could be quite nice for the castle. Let's go for some of these heroic grenadier guys. They do crush damage and divine damage. Double dojos here. We still have both shoguns in the field. It's actually quite important. They're doing 33 damage per strike. So they're pretty much guaranteed to get a samurai after every 4th strike. Unless the hack armor is pretty high. Naginata Riders do intercept some portable battering rams. New Moon on the armory gets his iron upgrades as well as the incendiary arrows. Looks like this Shogun may be going down, a little bit trapped. Shogun actually makes Skibana there, cannot be healed up by Miko if I remember correctly. Granite Giant there caused some issues. Granite Giants and has taunted the Shogun. That's Shinobi, which are anti-range units. They also do have a torch attack like it was Age of Empires 3. And of course, their special attack gives them a just time buff, increasing the speed and damage. So they're a blitz unit. Yumi Archer sort of backed into a corner. Red could I deploy out Doc there and get some of the free myth units, that Age 4 myth unit that's floating walking constellation. That could be useful if he wants another unit there. I mean, price of a Doc, that's pretty cheap. Looks like these daimyos are taking quite a bit of damage. A good number of granite giants. Portable battering rams trying to stab a horse's death. They're not really successful, to say the least. You now have the asymmetrical bows increasing the damage and range of Yumi horse archers, giving them +2 range and +25% damage. So they go up to from 16.8 to 19.1. They have 1 attack speed, so they have pretty good long-range DPS. They are 3 population. They're also buffed by the bonus damage here for cavalry. So it looks like Tsukuyomi is going for a cavalry build. Some Huskarls, as well as raiding cavalry, probably a good call. Jarls are just generalist cavalry. They won't do bad, but they won't be necessarily great. Right now they have less DPS than these Yumi archers. Cost-wise, they cost 130, heavy in gold. Yumi horse archers cost 120. So right now the Yumi archers are, looks like superior to the Jarls, barring in durability, health, and armor. But of course, range can really stack up. Erdman getting melee range is also a great way to do damage. And we do have some of the Shinagamis. Daimyo's taking some damage there. Just mass Yumi horse archers. Does these guys have any upgrades? Nope. They do have access to ballistics. Right now they do have range damage and divine damage at 8 range, so not very far. A bit of AoE, so a pretty good grenadier unit. True sliding respawns if defeated, becomes more powerful. For sure their upgrade makes them respawn once more. Respawn additional time, and of course they get even more powerful with that. And of course they do have a charge attack to get a bit of terror going. Got some throwing axe and plum fields, so now Shinobi being useful to help engage them. This is the Revenant one, the one that has died and been resummoned. You can see 24 damage rather than the 2020. That must be the shout ability. For some reason I thought, oh, is there ability to turn off and on for the resummoning? Of course, defensive fortifications are good versus range units. Blue's also now taking the gold from the front line. How many gold still up here? Who just aged up? Looks like Freyr does have his Inferno. He's went for his last unique one, Vidar. Pile of upgrades here. Birdman as well. With the infantry here, the splash damage from these guys should be actually pretty good. There's a Fafnir. Fafnir is overstated, of course. You get your opponent gets gold for killing it, so it's a double-edged sword that is. You get great stats, but you get a 100 gold donation to your opponent. Another town center. Looks like Red's gone for another town center. There's basically maxed out villagers at the moment. There's a soul returning on back to resummon. The Inferno gets a good detonation there, wipes out half the army, or most of the army there. 60. Oh, here the all reinforcements come in, getting up to 64. He's at the champion upgrades now. And we also got some of the deer being summoned. Granite Giant hitting some of those villagers now. Fafnir taking a bit of damage there. Does have a bit of health restoration from the Hill Fort. Fafnir does go down. Got some Oyumis. Ironically enough, I tried it. The Oyumis never seem like they work out, even if we have them upgraded to max with what's the other name of the other god? Age 4 god, which basically is a second level draft force. I've never seen mass Oyumi actually work. I think because they have such a long wind-up time, they don't work like mass Ballista. And mass Ballista is actually a bit more overpowered for Vidar. Excuse me. Here comes a Ballista. Right now that 28 damage. I think they get like up to like 40 something damage. Does get overrun by the Naginata Riders though. Good number of these horse archers in the field. Does get a nice little bit of terror there. Castle still firing away. Teleport here as well. Got some of these Grenadiers here. 8.8 divine damage to AoE. It's nice, but nothing too critical. No Axemen trip forward. Some of the old units started going, or the Grenadiers are going down. Vengeful, the final tier, 28 damage. Very unique aspects, of course, just being stubborn to die. Castle does go down. You got Secret Titans queued up by blue. Right now, when it comes to resources, Tsukuyomi's low on food, has some gold to work with, nothing too crazy. Some wood to work with. Well, Freyr has plenty of food and wood to work with. It is missing a bit of gold. So just a little bit idle there. You archers engaging first here. And we do have the mass ballista now being blown in the field without the 39 damage. That might be all the damage they can actually get. It's quite a bit, honestly. 40 damage with 4 projectiles. The DPS is 63. That is quite significant, to say the least. 3 populations that are highly population efficient. One UV archer on the field. Try and go on in, try and take out those ballista. Human archers firing away. Of course, these guys do have a large amount of range armor since they're a siege weapon. Throwing axemen in good numbers. Another swampman may be useful to help deal with all those throwing axemen. Down south, got these units. Another 14 to set the deer caravans. I think at this rate, red is going to be knocked out of the game. Yep. Looks like everything here is starting to go down. I think the red's gonna be knocked out soon. These guys do have a good amount of crush damage, so they actually can put a punch at these hit bosses. The problem is range. They have 14 range versus 30. Secret of Titans almost complete. They're just going on down. Yeah, it feels like this game's over for red. Red's actually out of resources. I'm gonna fast forward because I think red's gonna be knocked out shortly. He has no revenants here. Ballista just pushed way forward. 42, nearly 200. Best thing Red could probably do is save it for the God Power, but that's not the case. This is Angrade saying, thank you for watching, and on to the next replay.